Hello everyone. Okay, how are you? I'm fine. What about you today? Get up already? And what are you doing now? Today I am going to teach you the chapter 4, part 2. Yesterday I teach you uh, from the first part to the first point to the issues point. And issues point you study 2 point already. Today I am going to teach you the point 3 continue from yesterday. It's continue from point 3 to the end of the lesson. It's in chapters about teaching and learning grammar. This is the part of point 2 learned already yesterday. Today we start from point 3. Grammar. Should grammar be taught in separate grammar only classes? So the grammar should be separate in different courses. So grammar should be separate to only grammar class, reading to the only reading class like that. According to Photo Long and Einstein, indicate that the advisability of embedding grammatical technique into general language courses rather than single grammar out as a discrete skill and treating it as a separate course. So we cannot study only grammar course like that. We cannot separate grammar course from the other courses. Because what? If the student grammars only if the student study only grammar course in the course, so they will be bored, they get bored. So grammar course cannot be separated from the other course. Grammatical information, whether consciously or unconsciously learned, is an enabling system. A component of communicative competence like phonology, discourse, or lexicon. So grammar information can be learned consciously or unconsciously. Sometimes the students that study reading also they can study the grammar unconsciously because in the reading or in the listening also contain grammar, so they can learn grammar unconsciously. And grammar is also a component of communicative competence like phonology, so language that the student learn, discourse, and a lexicon like a word. Example, the student study vocab, the vocab show the part of speech, that is also part of the grammar. So they can learn the grammar unconsciously. Under certain conditions, however, they can provide a useful function, especially for higher intermediate to advanced learner. So look at the condition that the student that around the advanced learner. Example like the grammar course is explicitly integrated into total curriculum so that students can readily relate grammar pointer to their work in English. The rest of the curriculum control the contents of grammar course, not vice versa. Grammar course serves curriculum. So the curriculum should not set cannot separate the grammar from the other language courses. Grammar is contextual in meaningful or language use. So the grammar is contextual and meaningful in language use. Okay, the course is tailored as much as possible for specific problems students are experiencing. Tailor him fit. So the course can fit as much as possible for specific problem that students are experiencing. So grammar, this is the advantages of the advance of learner that they can advance their learning by design the curriculum that include the grammar inside. Sometimes grammar module in a standardized test separate course serve as helpful view of grammatical principles that may be incorporated into test. And one more is if ultimate test of success of such courses is in improvement of student performance outside of the grammar class, not in their score on the discrete point of grammar test. Okay, point number 4. The problem number 4 is the issues that should teacher correct grammatical error. So this is also the problem. If your student make mistake in grammatical, make mistake in make mistake in speaking, in reading, in writing, grammatically. So what should we do? Should a teacher correct the student error or not, and how? Many student error in speech and writing performance are grammatical. Grammatical correction by teacher can improve learner language, but it also has an impact on learner. So in order to correct student, there are two ways in correcting student. There are two impacts. One can be positive, one can be negative. Positive it means it can improve, can develop the student language learning, and one more also can affect the learner, affect the student. Okay, please can you? Sorry for interrupting. The treatment of grammatical error in writing is a different matter. So correcting grammar in writing is it's okay because you just correct that it doesn't affect the learner. But in speaking, if you give feedback directly to the student and speaking, it will have a lot of impact on learner. In process writing approaches, our attention to local grammatical and rhetorical discourse error is normally delayed until learner have completed one or two drafts of paper. Okay, some more grammar techniques. Okay, so look at the technique that we use to teach grammar. This is a micro teaching techniques. Micro teaching concentrate on specific teaching behavior and provide opportunity for practicing teaching under controlled condition. So we can use control techniques to teach the grammar. So through micro teaching, the behavior of teacher and pupil are modified, and the teaching learning process is more effective by skill training. So in teaching grammars, sometimes teacher use much control techniques in order to train, to present the grammar information to the student. Example here, making connection. Example, task one. This is example of the techniques. In this task, you think about effective grammar presentation technique and then present your grammar point to your class. This is a task. It's about effective presentation techniques. You find an effective present techniques that can present your new grammar to your student. Step one. Make a list of what you think are effective grammar presentation techniques, so you can find the techniques that is suitable for your grammar point for presenting the grammar. Example, use visual aid to help student memorize something. So this is important. Presenting the new grammar, we can use a visual aid, what the student can see and can understand easily. State the aim of presentation, so learner know what is coming later. So you have to tell the aim of to your student what you are going to teach them today, what grammar point, which point in the grammar that you want to present to them today. Okay, step number 2. You are going to present your grammar point on a group of 3 or 4 classmates. Choose the following. Example, use much or many. The difference between simple present tense and the present continuous are imperative, present tense and present tense of the verb be, past tense of the question, others. This is your own choice. So you can choose one of the following here, or the about. This is just example. Okay, your lesson lasts only 10 minutes, so do not be over ambitious as you prepare your mini lesson. Think about. So your presentation should be not too long. Around 10 minutes is enough for your presenting, and you have to spend a lot of time for your student to practice the new grammar point. Short in presentation, long practice, and short closing. Okay, you have to think about the exact aim of your presentation. What is the aim of your presentation? Effective presentation techniques. Think about your effective present technique. How do you present to your students so that they can understand easily? Stage in your presentation. What should be first? What should you present first? What should you present next? After that, and so on and so forth. How much time do you need for each stage? So from one stage to another stage, how much time would you spend? Do not spend too much time. Material. What material do you use in order to present your new grammar point so that your student can understand, can catch up, can pay attention. Example like with your blackboard earlier, how you might involve your group, how do you involve your student to learn. Okay, step number 3, appoint a timekeeper. Each person has 10 minutes to present their grammar point. Timekeeper must watch time strictly, even if the lesson is not finished. Tell the teacher stop after 10 minutes. It's a little bit strict. Again, strictly timing, limiting yourself to 10 minutes. Discuss your answer to the feedback question below. So you have to limit the time for your student to practice feedback question. So how much time would you spend on feedback question? Okay, what was clear about the grammar question? Ask your student if they understand the question or not. Ask them to give the feedback. How many minutes you spend for feedback question? What might be added to clarify it further? So ask your student which point that you want to be clearer to add more. What might have been changed to make the learning more effective? What was particularly effective about teaching? Any other comment? So this is the feedback. You can ask the feedback question from your student to make sure that the grammar point that you present to is effective, it is enjoyable, is understood, or not. Okay. Number 4, the next person present their grammar point and receive feedback. Okay, presenting. This is the way of presenting. Okay, task number 2. In this task, you evaluate 12 presentation techniques for the present perfect tense. Okay, look at the 12 evaluation techniques that we use for presenting the present perfect. Okay, grammar presentation techniques. This is the technique. You can use a song text. You can use timeline. Can use reading. Can use using a picture. Use realia. Personalizing. Explaining directly. Practicing presenting and presenting. Discovering. Using a chart. Okay, eliciting, and number 12 is comparing language 1 and language 2. This is you can use these techniques to present the grammar point, and you can think about the advantage if you use these techniques. What is the advantages and what the problem? Every technique must have both advantage and problem. Okay, look at the presentation techniques, like the 12 presentation techniques that is shown in the about slide using a song. So sometimes the teacher can choose a song that contains the grammar point that we want to teach our student. Using timeline, this is a timeline. You can use a timeline sample if you want to teach a student present perfect. You use the timeline, this is past, present, future. So the present perfect must you can use the reading. Reading is also important. Reading can help students to understand the languages. You can choose the reading that contain the grammar point that we want to teach the student. Okay, number 4, using pictures. Okay, using pictures. Sometimes we can use the pictures to present the grammar that we want to teach the students so they can understand easily. Pictures, especially example, you study about counting numbers or about much or many example, or about the counting your earth. You can show them the picture and ask them to describe the activity in the picture example. Using realia, so you can use the real object to present the students so they can understand easily. You can use the real pictures, the real object. Personalizing can present explain the grammar point to the student. Explain directly. You can explain directly. And practicing and presenting techniques. In practicing and presenting technique, you can box, draw a table that contain the grammar used, and you write the sentence. Sometimes in positive, some sentence in negative, example like that, with a question and answer, or you draw the box. You draw the box that contain question and answer, and then you ask your student to practice question and answer. Student A and student B. Student A asks questions, student B answer, and then you exchange. This is called practicing and presenting. Okay, one more discovering. Discovering in this technique, the teacher asks the learner to look at the reading passage, okay, which a learner has studied before as a reading text. The learner gets in the group of which the sentence that the teacher said for them is true or false, correct or incorrect. This is mean discovering. So you can give the teacher choose the reading text. You can give the reading text, and then we said the statement that some statement can be correct, some statement can be incorrect. So you can ask the student to read the statement and choose the correct one. Okay, using a chart. So we can use a chart to present the grammar points. So chart is also familiar for student, easy for teacher to use this data, and it is easy to draw on the board and easy to explain as well. Eliciting. Eliciting, the teacher tell the class what has done this morning. Example, you okay, please. Sorry for being interrupted. Please continue. Okay, look at point number 12 is about eliciting. Eliciting example today is the teacher teach about present perfect, and the teachers can tell the class what he or she has done this morning. Example, I have had my breakfast. I have said goodbye to my daughters, so on and so forth. And then the teacher write the question on the board. What have you done this morning? and ask students to answer by using the present perfect. And then the teacher can explain, personalize the present perfect. And one more is 12, number 12, the last techniques, comparing level 1 to and level 2. So at the last you can compare the grammar point between English with the student language, Khmer and English. What is different in using, what is different between the present perfect in English and in Khmer? What is the same? We can compare. This is the uh, techniques that the last technique that we can use to present the grammar. So all of these are the 12 techniques, the useful 12 techniques that we can use, that we can apply in our teaching grammar to the student. And thank you for paying attention. This is the end of the chapter 2, and I hope that you will enjoy learning this and try to watch this video again and again if you do not understand, or if you have any question, you can comment message to me. I will try to explain you and help you more. Thank you. Bye bye. And don't forget to read, don't forget to watch and read the book more at home. And we will learn next unit, next chapter, chapter 5. Okay, next for with the next video. Thank you.